Minecraft's editor mode update will allow you to build skyscrapers or pyramids with just a couple of clicks, and now it's even taken one of the best console edition features, and I absolutely love it. Editor mode does look like it'll be releasing for all players soon, as it's gone from version 0.9 to 0.9.9 to, I kid you not, 0.9.9 in the latest beta preview this week. This means we only have one more update, okay, 1 to 2 more updates, until it has its final release with 1.0, and so what is changing in Minecraft's newest tool for creators, though? Let's go into it today. And so here we are in the editor mode ourselves, and we're going to show off everything that has been added recently. So first, a quick reminder, editor mode is just the latest preview, which means I have this vibrant visuals background, but minus the main menu. I can't go back there no matter how badly I want to, and you can't really play with friends or servers either. Instead, you can just create new worlds, except they're called projects instead. These are notably different because you can both create them on a void world, unlike regular Minecraft, and also because even if we set our world into survival, by the way, we can name this anything we want, but even if we set this into survival, we're not actually going to load into survival, because as soon as our game has done loading, you're going to notice that these weird bars will pop up. This is what makes Editor, or Minecraft's Bedrock Editor, into what is closer to a game engine than a way of playing Minecraft, because this isn't designed for me to play survival into. Instead, I'm making a world that someone else will later play survival into. So yeah, if I want to see the world in full without this, I can just do commands, or I can even press this test world option on the right there. But if I want to, say, put myself up higher, which is what I want to do right now, I'm going to go and just type some coordinates, and then I'll be up here and put straight back into editor mode. So here we can see this is editor, and like I mentioned, there's a lot of tools that we can use. One of my favorite ones are these brushes. Look how quickly we can place blocks. But one of the brand new brushes they've added since 0.8 is called the pyramid, which can now go up to 40 blocks high and 21 blocks tall, or wide. Sorry, 21 blocks wide and 40 blocks tall, allowing me to very quickly make a pyramid out of bricks. And then, you know, even though this would take hours in survival or a few minutes in creative, I can then do the exact same thing again right there, allowing me to make kind of a cool little bridge right here. I could then use, like, say, a cuboid or something like that to link the two of them. I'll use copper for this, I guess. And just like that, we're very easily to make large-scale builds, even ones that can't just be made in simple cuboids, but large-scale builds which might be great for a challenge map you're trying to make. You can make them in seconds rather than minutes or hours, allowing you, hopefully, to focus on creativity. Next up, we've got the flatten brush that I've also showed up before. I think that this is incredible, personally. Look how quickly you can flatten out terrain, but just in case you want to do the exact opposite, the terrain tool allows you to roughen things up. This is actually kind of wild in my opinion, but this is the roughen tool, allowing you to, as you can see, build a natural looking roughness if you want to, instead of having long hard lines like this, have a more natural kind of like a roughness in the terrain to guide players down a certain path. Now look at that, they'll be guided naturally in that direction, which might be useful. And you can see immediately the sorts of power that these tools have, but also you can see the potential applications, because there are vibrant visual settings that you can play around with. And you know, there's something I've been wondering ever since I saw this comment of someone saying they didn't like that biomes in Minecraft are static, and that they wish you could have dynamic Terraria style biomes. But this got me thinking, imagine if we were in a vibrant visuals world with no pale forest where the pale forest biome is meant to be. I think my Minecraft has crashed, by the way. Yep, it has. But yeah, because you have access to seed templates, I can find the same one that I used for my 5 hours of Vibrant Visuals video. It was either Epic Jungle or Bamboo Forest. I'll assume it's Bamboo Forest. And then I should be able to find that giant pale garden that's there. And that means that I can load in here to a brand new world, and my idea that I have that would take hours in, you know, even if I use creative with the most broad tools, it would take me a very long time to do. And that same idea of clearing out an entire pale garden, so it's no longer a pale garden, I can do in, well, let's find out actually. So let's TP myself up into the sky. I don't know if there's a better way of doing this one yet. But if you want to be in the sky in editor mode, it's a lot easier to play around with the world. Let's take this entire pale garden biome that exists and let's flatten it. How long is that going to take? Well, let's find out. So, okay, zoom. We can now set the radius of this much wider than we could before, and we can also set the height a little higher, which means that, whoa, okay. So we are running up against the capabilities of Minecraft Bedrock's ability to do this. But you can see, just like this. Oh no, actually, we're not. It was just, wow. It does tend to slow down a little bit, but all of these blocks are being destroyed in this. Oh yeah, it's not the editor I'm running up to the limits of. It's the distance from me that I can flatten terrain at. But still, just like this, as easy as this, all of the terrain is gone now, meaning this area that would have previously been a giant pale garden is as simply as this, flattened, and just kind of removed. Okay, so let's really extra flatten it. I think this is amazing personally, and it's the sort of things you see people doing in other game engines where you're like, oh yeah, that's a lot that you can do there, huh? Anyway, now let's go into our empty biome, and I want to see what this looks like when I've got some builds in here. You'll have no idea it's a pale garden, but with vibrant visuals, you'll be able to see basically nothing, but I want there to be something to not see, and so let's build something easily. So we could do some extruding, by the way. Again, there's some craziness you can do here to like bring up ores or entire sections of areas, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to build something from scratch. So I'm going to use the brush tool, this is the cuboid tool, to build myself a, let's just be simple, like, it's meant to be able to be used for skyscrapers and stuff, but let's build ourselves a cuboid with some glowstone in the middle there, and then, oh, I'm doing this terribly. By the way, if you want to zoom in closer, you can just scroll. I've worked out. Very cool. Look how far back we can view our Minecraft world from. This is immense power, unlike you've ever seen in Minecraft before. But if we zoom back into things, okay, a little bit too far. If we zoom back into things, I should be able to build things just a bit easier. So I want all of that glowstone there, and then I want to have moss on the side here, and then I want to have some... This is the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. Don't lie to me, internet. I know you love what you're looking at right now, but I can choose to build this beautiful building. You know, let's round out the edges, shall we? Let's try and make it at least line up on one axis. So if I want to build this beautiful building, and I want to repeat this over and over again, because why wouldn't you? Well, the repeater tool, you know, actually, let me build something that actually is worth repeating. So here is a cuboid of I guess, copper. Here is a cuboid of glass, and then let's do the same over there, and then let's do the same over there. So this would make a beautiful building if you were to repeat it, right? And now you can repeat it by selecting the area you'd like to repeat. I think we did a pretty good job there. And then going to this tool, the repeater tool, and using this grid mode, which allows you to repeat something as many times as you'd like. So I can actually set it to, instead of going that way, let's go the other way, and let's go 10 blocks into, oh, that's spacing, no. You know, okay, I shouldn't have done whatever I just did, but it's fine. Okay, let me actually respace this one, shall I? Oh no, it's gonna do the same. But now what I can do is I can repeat my thing as many times as I would like. And that means that this build that I just made that is beautiful, I can repeat over and over. This is meant to be used for making skyscrapers with windows, and I would argue this is a beautiful skyscraper with windows. Very modern design, don't you think? And the fact that you can do this is nuts. And now if I want to test this new thing, by the way, if I didn't like what I just did, you can Control Z and Control Y that. Undo and redo, both exist here, and they also exist for farms. This is one of the weirdest tools. I really don't know why Minecraft added it, but you can make farms with all of the resources that you want. So here's a farm with all 5 of the things, or we could have just beetroot and sheep in a farm, and we can make a beetroot sheep farm, or I can say, why am I doing this? This feels a little bit silly. Why do the sheep look like that? Or you could say, why am I doing this? This feels a little bit silly to me, and you can Control Z and Control Z both of these. Apparently you couldn't do that with farms before, now you can, which is awesome. But yeah, if I have my farm, which is actually awesome, and I want to have these, and now I have a world I want to test, instead of just having to test it natively in the editor, there is also, thanks to the new Realms update, is what they're calling 0.9, the ability to export this directly onto a realm. So this is the Publish to Realms button. I can publish it to... I don't know that I want to publish it to either of them, but let's do it anyway. Onto Realm slot, copy of hardcore? Sure, why not? Let's export it there right now, and we can even pick our cheat settings if we want to. So we'll put show coordinates on, show days played, etc. And now, just like this, I can publish it. Wait, it's going to do some bad things, but that's fine. I can publish it straight onto my realms while actively building more things if I want to. Which means if I now go into regular Minecraft or regular Minecraft preview, my world is right there, and if I play the preview, here I am in that same world with vibrant visuals, which isn't very clear from the spawn area, but if I go over the top of this mountain, it's a nice mountain, right? What do I see on the other side? Well, some fog appeared for no reason, but now here is my pale garden, which is exactly what I wanted to test. And so yeah, if you ever want to, this is one of the spookiest things you could do. Clearing out a pale garden is now one of the crazy coolest projects you can attempt, because when you don't have a pale garden, you get some of the weirdest looking visuals, but also I can now look at those things that I just built here in the flesh. or this farm. I mean, I don't know why you'd need sheep and beetroot. I feel like, whatever. Anyway, I can now enjoy both of these and these delightful glowstones, and it's super strange, right? I mean, at least for me. Anyway, let's go back into editor mode and show you a couple more useful changes that they've made, because they've taken one of my favorite console edition, and for that matter, one of my favorite Java edition features, and implemented them directly here into editor. So if we go to settings, you can see that we can turn on night vision, which is nice, but we can also move our move speed up. So instead of flying at this speed, this kind of sad speed you get in Bedrock and Java, you can instead up it to be much more like console speeds. I have been such a big advocate for this forever. Why is it that when you're flying in creative mode, the mode that's meant to be about creativity and exploring your world, why is it that when you fly in these game modes, you basically don't go much faster than walking? It's not called walking, it's not called fast walking in the air, it's called flying, damn it. It's like, I don't know, like as a European going to America for the first time and being like, oh, there's these cities that are a 4-hour drive apart. How about if we tax the train instead? And you realize the train is 16 hours because it goes slower than driving and also takes way more stops. It's just like, why does this exist? This is a form of transport for people I don't understand, and that's exactly how I feel about flying in the Bedrock version. Please make it faster, Mojang. Anyway, so, I mean, they have here in editor mode, but similarly, they've also brought in this brand new workbench tool, which I opened by accident, it seems. The workbench is something I actually can't quite figure out. It apparently allows you to change states like you can by using the debug tool. I think I might have done something just there. But what's interesting is you can also use the block inspector to do more than the editing stick can do. So it's the same thing, but like with more menus. If I want to change the beetroot that I've just selected right here, I can go into its growth and I can select growth stage 4. Or I could select this fully grown beetroot and I could say, nah, I don't want growth stage 5, I want growth stage 0. You can de-age crops if you want to, and the same is true for every single block. I can take my oak fence and say, nah, I think this should be acacia instead. I don't know why you would want to do that. Or this coal ore, I can go into it and I can say that it requires an iron pick and then something, or diamond pick. I could actually change the block tags for this. I can see them. I can't actually change them, apparently. But yeah, it's really, really cool that you have access to the block inspector and the block changer via the workbench. It means that you can make these intricate little changes, and it's a fun little tool that, again, Java has implemented natively, but Bedrock has put into its editor mode, which is pretty cool, actually. But again, it would be cool if there was a way to do it in creative. But clearly that is the difference between how Java developed and how Bedrock is developing. A lot of features just aren't necessary to play Minecraft Bedrock Creative. You know, they're trying to treat it like a game, whereas Java is both a game and an ability to play with things. Is Bedrock separating them smart or not? Well, let's talk about the future, shall we? And let's use the editor on a copy of my Let's Play world, just to be fun while we do that, because yes, obviously, Minecraft Editor 1.0 is coming out fairly soon. At least that's what we can assume from the fact that it's on 0.9.9.9, and so now if we look into what 1.0 would mean, there are quite a few rather large possibilities. According to the GitHub page that exists for Minecraft's editor, the plan is to release this not in preview, or not on keyboard/mouse, once the quality is high enough. And I have to imagine that you have to say your product is quality enough by the time you get to 1.0, so are they planning to release controller support, and or maybe across more Bedrock devices, or are they just planning to release in the main versions of the game, perhaps in a subheading somewhere, or perhaps as an option that you can click in the menu? I do have to imagine that eventually that is the plan, because editor is a way to really allow the sorts of tools that on Java are only known by the most niche of niche creators to be accessed by anyone, anytime, and I actually really like that. This is much more user-friendly than Java commands. It's much more user-friendly than having to download the mods or whatever for Java Edition, and I actually really like what's going on with it. However, we won't actually know until 1.0 comes out, and I assume the time that that's going to happen, at least in beta, is next week, and therefore the summer drop is not just going to be the happy ghast and its features, it's not just going to be vibrant visuals and some form of full release, it also looks like it might be editor mode too. And so, in conclusion, editor mode is a crazy powerful game-like style editor that you'll be able to have inside of your Minecraft fairly shortly. It's already made its way into the launcher, but just 2 years after first launching, this is a fun side project which looks like it will be in a full release, and then the only question becomes, what do they do from there? Do they continue updating this forever? I mean, at 1.0 they could stop, but I'm sure there are more features they would like to add. Is it going to be that in 3 to 5 years time, we're talking about how every decent Minecraft Minecraft map is made in the editor, because why wouldn't they be? It's like how right now you could make a Minecraft map in survival, but of course you'd use creative. Is it going to be in a few years that, yeah, well, you could make a Minecraft map in creative, but of course you would use the Bedrock Editor? Will it be more tightly integrated into the game? I've got lots of curiosity, not just about this, but also about the fact that now as we see editor mode and vibrant visuals both coming to fruition in the summer drop, that means that we might start to see more of the other projects, long-term, that Minecraft have been working on, come into fruition, because even though the base game has seen the number of features coming to it stay fairly steady over the last 3 or 5 years, we've seen them work on so many of these fun side projects, and so I have even more excitement for the Summer Game Showcase, because maybe there are more of these that Mojang are working on under the hood. Anyway, one last thing before we go is that next Tuesday is finally the official release date for Toy Cat's Toolkit. I am so excited about this add-on. It's something I've wanted to see in base game Minecraft forever, and you'll be able to get it on Tuesday. Make sure you do if you like that sort of stuff. And speaking of liking that sort of stuff, I hope you enjoyed this video. Looking forward to seeing more, because I'll see you in the next one, you